Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Los Angeles Athletic Club. I just feel so lucky, and I think if you talk to the people in the room tonight, they probably say the same thing. We're streaming tonight, and so there are people, probably two or three, maybe more, who are watching who aren't at the club. And so I only have one camera, so there's no way I can turn it around and show them the room that we're in. But the room that we're in is just a glorious room in a building that is a beautiful, beautiful building. The Los Angeles Athletic Club was founded in 1880. Yeah, 1880. And this club house is nearly 100 years old. My grandfather, who was a silent screen actor, when he found reason to run away from my grandmother, would run to the LA Athletic Club, and he stayed here. And he would live here and have dalliances and things like that. I'm not accusing the Los Angeles Athletic Club of condoning that kind of behavior. I'm sure he was extremely secretive and discreet about it. But it went on, and that was back in the 1920s when the club was just practically brand new. Thanks, Bill. And so we're on the third floor of this like 12-story building in the middle of downtown Los Angeles. It's got an indoor Olympic-sized swimming pool with a beautiful skylight over it. If anybody here hasn't seen it, it's up on the 5th floor. Before you leave tonight, you got to see that. And you can go all the way up to the roof and look out over downtown. If you want to like make something romantic happen, that'll do it. I'm just guaranteed. I'm treading water a little bit because we're still missing one musician. And so I want to tell you a quick story. I mentioned that my grandfather was a silent screen actor. And occasionally, I'd say maybe once a year, I get to bask in the glow of his career. He's long gone. And that happened this week. I got invited to USC. Does anybody care about USC? Okay, my wife got her degrees at UCLA. She's a Bruin. Yeah. So Bruin or Trojan, it doesn't matter. Okay, fine. So I got invited to USC. George Lucas, along with other donors, has funded practically an entirely new campus for what was the Motion Picture School, Arts and Television or something. Now it's called the School of Cinematic Arts. And Dean Elizabeth Daly and Marlene Lodvine, who helps her, have just done an unbelievable job of raising the money and building these buildings. They have 30 endowed chairs, and the event last night or the night before was to honor Robin Williams, the newest chair in comedy, Robin Williams. So I got to go, my wife, with red carpet, take their picture, it's fun. But the funnest thing for me was I met two people who also are relatives of people who are famous in my mind. And I think other musicians will agree. So the first person I met was this tall, handsome guy who works in city government. He works for a nonprofit. And it turns out his father was Steve Allen. This fellow, Bill Allen, head of the Economic Opportunity Commission or something like that. He couldn't have been more down-to-earth or sweeter. Steve Allen, for those of you who don't know the details, started in radio here in Los Angeles, but went back to New York, and he started The Tonight Show. And you can go on YouTube and see the very first Tonight Show that was broadcast nationally with Steve Allen. And it's hysterical because there had never been a show coast to coast. So they had no idea what would happen, like during the commercials. Would people die or, they didn't know. So Steve Allen did that, but he was extremely important in jazz. He had a jazz show out of LA years later that had just the finest jazz players. And on every show that he did in his career, like the Tonight Show where he had guests, he always had just the finest jazz players, you know. And I loved Steve Allen. He was funny. He seemed to have a huge heart and a lot of humanity, you know. And it was just fun to see his television shows. So Bill was really nice. I said, Bill, got to come down to the Thursday Night Jazz Salon. And he said, we'll be there. So I gave him my card. And then we went in the auditorium. I sat down, and I turned to the man next to me, and I said, hi, my name's Dave Ross. My name's Jeff. Oh, Jeff, what do you do? He said, I work for the Johnny Carson Foundation, or the Johnny Carson something, Johnny Carson Enterprises, maybe. I said, and I looked at him, and I went, oh, my God. He looks like Johnny Carson. I said, my God. Are you his son? He says, no, I'm his nephew. But I mean, if you met him, I think you'd probably have to know the connection. I don't think you'd go like, oh my God, you must be Johnny Carson. But once you know it, you go like, oh my God, you look like Johnny Carson. And I told him that whenever we play Here's That Rainy Day, one of my favorite ballads, I let the audience know that I had heard that was Johnny Carson's favorite song. So I said, is that true? He said, absolutely, that's true. So Jeff said that he and his wife Peggy were going to watch the stream tonight. So if you guys are there, we say hello from the LA Athletic Club, and we hope you enjoy the night enough to come down in person, because people would get a kick out of hearing you tell the story about Here's That Rainy Day. So it looks like all the musicians are here, and I promised we're streaming tonight on a brand new site called Alert the Globe, alerttheglobe.com, and it's exciting for us because their platform is designed purely to stream music all over the world, and they've put it together, you know, a little bit patchwork as they've, you know, put the building blocks in place. But now they're starting to get some funding, and they're putting together an entirely new website, and we're going to be part of all that. So we're really excited. There's some big names in rock and roll that are part of it, and I'm hoping, I already know that one of them who sings with a band, I'm not kidding you, called the Rolling Stones, loves jazz. So we're going to get these people to come down as special guests. So you got to stay tuned. You should come every week, just in case. You know, it's all going to be exciting. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, we play jazz here, but I think the key, the core of what we do is comes from the love that the musicians have for the music. I'm the least experienced. I might even be the youngest person. It's depressing, but it's true. I mean, it's not depressing for me. It should be depressing for them. But and even though all of the other band members and the Tonight Singers have full careers where they've been making music, they come to this event tonight still deeply in love with music. And so if we can tap into that love that they feel, then I know you're going to feel it. It's all going to be good. So we're going to start with a song that we've been using to start the Thursday Night Jazz Salon for a few weeks, because it has a kind of purposeful quality to it, a kind of thoughtful quality, and it'll help all of the musicians kind of, you know, dial in their dials and do all that kind of stuff. So this is by a sax player who's known more for his, maybe for this song and his songwriting and arranging, possibly, than his playing. Oliver Nelson was his name. He's gone. But this song is called Stolen Moments, and our trumpet player tonight, well, let me put it this way. I'll tell you the rest of the story when I introduce everybody. But he had to take a little break from playing trumpet. 3 weeks, the longest he hasn't played trumpet since he started when he was, a kid. And the first song that he played when he was able to play again was a song we're going to play now. So here's Stolen Moments, and I'm going to ask our piano player to just start anywhere he wants and gradually approach the song, and when he lands on the song, we'll hear it and we'll join in. You still hug people?
Yeah, he shakes now.
Are you still a hugger? Oh boy. I think that I'm so happy that our trumpet player is back. That happiness just filled up that song for me. So let me introduce the band, and thank you, by the way, for your applause. It's a beautiful song, and it's a thrill to play it. On piano, we've got a guy who was born in Long Beach, grew up here, but he's played all over the world. He's played with jazz artists whose names, if you're not into jazz, you might not recognize, but they're giants, like Freddie Hubbard, Larry Carlton, Hubert Laws, and there was a, almost mythical jazz player in Paris back in the 40s, Django Reinhardt. And you've probably heard him on Woody Allen soundtracks, just a delicious, innovative jazz player. And one of the things that made Django's music so wonderful was his fiddle player. He had the sweetest violin player, And it's hard to believe, but that violinist, Stefan Grappelli, I think he lived till 100 or something like that, didn't he? Yeah, late 90s. Anyway, he was, and our piano player played with Stefan Grappelli in Paris. I mean, I don't. That is like the coolest, hippest little thing. And the great Etta James, who had that wonderful kind of anthem hit, At Last. He played for her. So he's played with lots of wonderful people all over the place, and he's here tonight in this beautiful, intimate room to play for us. So make him feel welcome on piano, Mr. Mark Massey. He has bright red hair, so he likes to wear a hat because it kind of embarrasses him. On saxophone, I don't want to. Okay, I won't say legendary. It'll just become too cliched because there'll be so many opportunities to use it tonight. But let's just say one of the most popular and sought-after sax players in Los Angeles and on the jazz scene generally. He got his break with the great Ray Charles. He was our sax player, grew up in Nashville. And even though, I'll tell you some of the other players he's played with, it's an incredible list. Even though he's played with those other players, he said that playing with Ray Charles was the greatest musical thrill of his life. And over the holidays, I heard NPR do a piece on Ray, and it reminded me of how much I adore Ray Charles. So when I came back, I asked our sax player, what was it like to be with Ray for 8 years? He said, every night I stood as close to Ray as I am to you. And you know, they played a lot of dates in a year, and mostly the same repertoire, and they'd play the songs the same, you know, mostly every time. And he said it didn't matter. He said every night it was an absolute thrill to be with Ray Charles. So that's something. Because our sax player went on to play with Frank Sinatra and Ella Fitzgerald and Sarah Vaughan, people like B.B. King and Rod Stewart. Who? David I? Yeah, okay. Take your word for it. Diana Krall. And for those of you who aren't, you don't consider yourselves big jazz listeners, what I'd suggest you listen for with our sax player, number one, his sound. He's got the most buttery, beautiful, warm sound. I see women in the audience. I see they take out smelling salts occasionally just to kind of keep themselves going, you know. It's that buttery sound. And then he comes out of, you know, kind of like maybe Cannonball Adderley. He comes out of a black R&B tradition, and so no matter how many notes he plays, how quickly he plays them, you're always grounded. You know, the music always is juicy. You never get lost. It's always right there for you. And so you could go to Carnegie Hall to hear him. You could go to the Hollywood Bowl. But you're smart to have come here. It's cheaper, and you get to get so close to him. You can even talk to him during the break. So I want you to show your appreciation, a big warm welcome on tenor sax, Mr. Rickey Woodard. It's so funny, even though he plays with all these great artists, he just played with Steve Tyrell about 2 or 3 weeks ago here in LA. To get him to stand in this spotlight is like impossible. He just likes to be over there. Yeah. Now our trumpet player, and I mentioned him earlier, that he had taken a 3-week layoff. Can I spill the beans? Okay. So our trumpet player, I'll give you his music pedigree first, so you know how to place him in your constellation of players. So he grew up here in Pasadena. In fact, he lives in a house he built on the very block in which he was born in Pasadena. And started playing the trumpet early. And by the time he was in his 20s, he was playing with the Duke Ellington Orchestra and then joined the great Count Basie Band, where he became first chair trumpet player for several years. He would have stayed forever, but he got a call from the dark side, pop music. where all the money is, Marvin Gaye called him and asked if he would come on tour. He joined Marvin Gaye, became his musical director, actually. So if you love Marvin Gaye's music, you've already been touched by our trumpet player's musicality. And then he went on to tour with people like Stevie Wonder and Diana Ross and Natalie Cole, and just many, many other A-list stars. Now that would be extraordinary enough. At that point, right, what else do you need to do? But on top of that, he has been a runner his whole life. Any serious distance runner in the running community knows his name and knows almost his legendary career as a runner. Track and field is the Bible of, for runners. Every year they name a male athlete of the year and a female athlete of the year for the whole world. He has won that award more often than any other living person. He currently holds 8 world records. And about 3 weeks ago, he fell while he was running. Now, this must not happen very often. He fell, and he fell badly. He sent me a picture of him, and he looked a little bit like, I don't know, the Elmer Fudd after, like, the Roadrunner gets done with him or something. And he just looked like he'd been through like he fell in the washing machine or something. Yeah. But the most painful thing to see was, because he smiled in the picture, that his front tooth was missing. He'd lost his tooth, which for a horn player, that's basically the end of your career. So he did his research. He got an implant. This is all in the last 3 weeks. He got an implant. He was really excited. Went home, picked up his trumpet, and no sound came out. So now he's lost his tooth. He's gotten American modern medicine to offer their best repair, and still no sound came out of the horn. And then this week, he found another dentist, a fellow down in Riverside. He went down to see him, and the dentist looked at the implant, and he said, well, what's the problem? It looks good. He said, the trumpet, no sound comes out. And the dentist said, well, I can try to change the shape of it, but there's no blueprint for this. I don't know what to do. And I could make it worse. I could make it look worse, and then you'd have to buy a new one and start all over again. What do you want me to do? And our trumpet player said, I want you to try. So I think it took him over an hour. He shaped it, put it back in, and does it screw in or just sticks in? Okay. Oh, it's temporary. Stuck it in. And then our trumpet player drove all the way from Riverside back to Pasadena, wondering whether when he got home he's going to make any sound. Can you imagine how long that drive was? He got home, he put the trumpet to his lips, and he could play again. Yeah. He played terribly, but at least he could play. So he actually tried to get one of Clark Terry's teeth, now that Clark is gone. But he couldn't work that out. So anyway, to have him back tonight playing, and he's just starting. He just picked up the trumpet, I think, yesterday, so he's just starting to warm up again. So we want him to take it very easy tonight, but to have him back is just a joy for all the members of the band. So I want you to let him know how happy you are to have him here tonight, playing again, Mr. Nolan Shaheed, everyone. Well, we've got a special singer tonight. It's her debut at the Jazz Salon. And this is a singer who, when I first started playing about 7 years ago, and I'm real picky on singers, somebody came to me and said, oh, you've got to hear this singer. There's all the regular jazz singers, and then there's her. And I tucked the name away, never got a chance to hear her sing. And I looked up her just to get a sense of her career, and it's been remarkable. Back in I think it was the 1990s, she did a 30-city tour singing the songs of Howard Arlen, one of my favorite composers. She appeared in the 90s on a television tribute to Ella Fitzgerald, along with Mel Torme and Nancy Wilson and all kinds of other big singers. So she swims with the big fish. And I'm still kind of pinching myself that she's here with us tonight. So I know several of you, when you found out she was singing, came particularly to hear her. So let's help her feel welcome. The wonderful, the legendary, Barbara Morrison.
What about David? David, you didn't tell us about you.
Oh, that's right.
You didn't tell us.
Oh, for God's sake.
Oh,
She's making trouble.
gave
She's supposed
everybody
to come up
kudos
here.
but himself. Okay, I'm just going to make it short.
Okay.
How about it for David, who hired all of us?
Thank you.
How are you doing?
We're doing good. What do you want to start with? Oh, you got to tell me. Oh, it's right here? Oh, okay. Oh, you got it. Oh,
Put them in order for me. A one, a two, and you know what to do. King Arthur, thank you for the chair. Here I come. I love the East, I love the West. North and South, they're both the best. But I'll only go there as a guest, 'cause I love being here with you. I love the sea, I love the shore, I love the rocks and what is more. With you there would never be a bore, 'cause I love being here with you. I tell you, singing in the shower, laughing by the hour, life is such a crazy game. I love all kinds of weather as long as we're together. I love to hear you say my name. I like good wine and fine cuisine. Candlelight, I love to sing. Hey, don't get me wrong, you know what I mean. I love being here with you. A little dance with Fred Astaire. Brando's eyes, your brother's hair. Ooh. I think to tell you that it's only fair that I love being here with you. Cary Grant, ooh, do that day. He's out of town, just they take me away. You ought to hear me when I say that I love being here with you. I tell you, Basie's band is swinging, I love Ella singing. She's something else, she knows. She know how to sing it, they know how to play it. They wind it up and let it go. I love the thrill of a New York show. I'd stand in a long, long line to kiss Count Basie's nose. I want to say before I close that I love being here with you. Yeah. Put your hands together. Come on, like this. Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Rickey. I tell you, Duke's band is swinging, I love Ella singing. She's something else, you know. She know how to say it, they know how to play it. They wind it up and let it go. I love the thrill of the New York show. I'd stand in a long, long line to kiss Duke Ellington's nose. I want to say before I close that I love being here with you. I love it, I love it, I love it. Ooh, I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. You know I love it, I love it. I love being here with you. Yes, I do. being here with you. Thank you, Jonathan Club. Yeah. I'm right on the top of the tune, Mark. Me and you together. 1, 2, 3, 4. This isn't sometimes, this is always. This isn't maybe, this is always. Oh yes, yes, it's love. The real beginning of forever. It's not me, it's summer madness. A passing glow, a moment's gladness. Oh yes, yes, it's love. I knew it on the night we met. You tied a string around my heart. So how could I forget you? With every kiss I know that this is always. This isn't sometimes, this is always. This isn't maybe, this is always. Oh yes, it's love. The real beginning of forever. It's not me, it's summer madness. A passing glow, a moment's gladness. So yes, yes, it's love. I knew it on the night we met. You tied a string around my heart. So how could I forget you? With every kiss I know that this is always, always. Oh, thank you so much. As I was growing up, I had the opportunity to meet such wonderful players like Eddie Simpkins and Jimmy Smith And as a matter of fact, this guy talked me into going in the studio with him and doing a little song called Doing All Right. I think Louis Armstrong and Billie Holiday made it famous. And I went in the studio with him. I didn't know what I was doing because I was too young. And when I got in my car to go home, it was playing on the radio. I said, damn. Damn, that was fast. But I was listening to Dexter Gordon then. 1961. Let's see, I'm 28 now. It became one of my favorite songs. It was written by George and Ira, his lovely sister. No, Ira was George and Ira Gershwin. A one, a two, and swing me in the back. Yeah. Do that again, Mark. I dare you. He did it. I was doing all right. Nothing but rainbows in my skies. I was doing all right till you came by. Had no cause to complain. Life was as sweet as apple pie. Never noticed the rain till you came by. Now, whenever you're away, can't sleep, night, supper all day. I just sit and wonder if love isn't one big blunder. But when you hold me tight, tingling all through, I feel somehow I was doing all right. But I'm doing better than ever now. Go ahead, Mark, go ahead. Yeah? Mark Massey on piano. Mark, give me a little bit. Sweeble-dim-day, shoo-be-weeble-dum-dee-po-dum. Shoo-be-wee-da, boo-wee-da, shoo-be-wee-da-dum-dee-doo-dee-dee-dum-ba. Now, whenever you're away, can't sleep nights and I suffer all day. I just sit and wonder if love isn't one big blunder. But when you hold me tight, tingling all through, I feel somehow I was doing all right. But I'm doing better than ever now. I'm doing better than ever now. How about you? Should you be with me? As you can see, I'm very professional. Oh. What are we doing next? Oh. Hey, let's do number 5. Yeah, this is my one of my favorite songs. It came from Harold Arlen. Anybody remember Harold Arlen?
Yeah.
How about the number 1 song of the 20th century? Anybody? Somewhere over the rainbow. He was the godfather of us. Everybody wanted to be like Harold Arlen. Tin Pan Alley was on fire. He wrote with Yip Yarborough and he wrote with Johnny Mercer, remember?
Yeah.
That old black magic got me, yeah. And I could wild away the hour, conferring with the flower, consulting with the rain. I'd be thinking I'd be weekend if I only had a brain. He wrote this little ditty and I just fell in love with it. As a matter of fact, it's on my latest CD called I Want to Be Loved. How we doing, Mark? Rickey and Nolan okay?
Yeah.
How about David? He doing?
Yeah, I'm good. So we're skipping to
Number 5. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, 1, 2. You know what to do. That's perfect, Mark. He can count.
Oh, yes.
Someday, somewhere, we'll be close together, just you and me. And by the way, this time the dream's on me. You'll take my hand and you'll look at me adoringly. And as things stand, this time the dream's on me. It would be fun to consider that I'm the one, to know that I at least supply the shoulder you cry upon, to see you through, to be anything you wanna be. It can't be true. This time the dream's on me. Someday, some way, Rickey Woodard, Nolan Shaheed, we'll be close together, just you and me. And by the way, this time the dream's on me. You'll take my hand and you'll look at me adoringly. And as things stand, this time the dream's on me. It would be fun to consider that I'm the one, to know that I at least supply the shoulder you cry upon, to see you through, to be anything you wanna be. It can't be true. This time the dream's on me. This time the dream's on me. Hey! It's on me. Count, pay, see. Yeah. Let's get to number 7. I like it too. I like it too. No, I'm gonna send it. I want to send this one out to you, David.
My one and only?
Yeah. I'm gonna send David. David told me when we first, as matter of fact, when I walked in here tonight, this song was playing.
Yeah.
And David said, "I really like ballads, Art."
Yeah. And I love this song, and it's rare that we find a singer, I don't know why, willing to sing it. You know, the Johnny Hartman version with John Coltrane is just such a killer. And so it's such a pleasure that you're going to sing it tonight, Barbara.
I think Sarah did it. Maybe Sarah. I think you know me, don't you, Mark? The very thought of you makes my heart sing like an April breeze on the wings of spring. And you appear in all your splendor, my one and only love. The shadows fall and spread their mystic charms in the hush of night. When I'm in your arms, I feel your kiss so warm and tender, my one and only love. The touch of your hand is like heaven, a heaven that I've never known. The blush on your cheek whenever I speak tells me that you are my own. You fill my eager heart with such desire. Every kiss we make sets my soul on fire. I give myself in sweet surrender, my one and only love. Touch of your hand is like heaven. That's Rickey Woodard, baby. A heaven that I've never known. The blush on your cheek whenever I speak tells me that you are my own. You fill my eager heart with such desire. Every kiss we make sets my soul on fire. I give myself in sweet surrender, my one and only love. Rickey Woodard, Nolan Shaheed, Massey, and David Ross. I want some G. I'm in G. Shuffle. Yeah, give me some blues right here. A one, a two. You know what? I got this song from Mercer Ellington. You know Duke's son. Yeah. It's really from being nothing. It's really from being nothing. Cause so long as I'm doing nothing, they're so low, get behind the bar rising. I can see it glow. I tell you, things ain't what they used to be. No, you should be in a down Thomas, get behind the rosy promise. Now I know there's a happy story yet to come. It's the dawn of the day of glory. Millennium announcing things ain't what they used to be. Now, come on and look at that army fighting to be free. It doesn't bore me. It's got me walking around with my head up, eyes all aglow, no tears fed up. That's why I see a victory announcing things ain't what they used to be. Massey, Dave Ross, Rickey Woodard, Nolan Shaheed. Got so weary from being nothing. Got so dreary from doing nothing. So long as I'm being nothing, I felt so low out on the far horizon. I can see it glow. I tell you, things ain't what they used to be. No, you spin a down Thomas. Got my eye on the rosy promise. Now I know there's a happy story yet to come. It's the dawn of the day of glory, millennium. I tell you, things ain't what they used to be. Now, come on and look at that army fighting to be free. It doesn't bore me. It's got me walking around What coat? Used to be Bob-chi dang bobo, dang bobo. They ain't what they used to be. Yeah. That's okay. Treat me like your stepchild. Love you, Mark. Don't worry about it. For those of you who wonder why I sit in this chair, I told my friend I was going to Alaska, to Sitka, to the university in Alaska. She says, "Oh, Barbara, you're going to get cold feet." And until I told her I didn't have any feet. I'm a double amputee, ladies and gentlemen, and I walk on prostheses. So that's why I'm sitting down. Just in case you're wondering, why don't she get up off her?
How about Valentine? Are you for it?
It's kind of a...
Yeah, it is.
Ding.
Oh, really?
But we could do it slow.
My Funny Valentine?
Oh, okay.
Mark.
And we're doing kind of a...
No, don't play the chart. Play your memory.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. I had a little Latin funk thing on My Funny Valentine that I shouldn't have bought it. We need a lot of drums. So you know how it is. So we'll do it as a ballad and dedicate it to Dave again. You're my funny Valentine, sweet comic Valentine. You make me smile with my heart. Your looks are laughable. Oh, photographable. Yet you're my favorite work of art. Is your figure less than Greek? Is your mouth a little weak when you open it to speak? Are you smart? Oh, but please don't change a hair for me. Not if you care for me. Stay, funny Valentine. Stay, please stay. Each day is Valentine's Day. David Mark. Is your figure less than Greek? Is your mouth a little weak? When you open to speak, are you smart? Oh, but please don't change your hair for me. Not if you care for me. Stay for the Valentine. Won't you stay? Each day is Valentine. My funny, funny Valentine. Each day is Valentine's Day. I'm having fun.
Have it one more tune?
Can you do 5 more? Let me see, shuffle me.
One more is good.
And you know what to do.
What are we doing?
Shuffle a C, some blues. Yeah. Oh, what? Okay, give me some greens and C. 1, 2. And you know what to do. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's midnight. Yeah. One more night without sleeping. Yes, and I'm watching that morning come creeping. Well, now, green door, what's that secret you're keeping? You know we got a real hot piano that we swing real hard behind the green door. Go ahead, Mark. Lord, and that bass man stomping, 'cause he's really something. Come on, Dave, give me some of that thump. Ooh, and that sax is fine, and the trumpet's mine behind. You know I'm not once. I tried to tell him I'd been there. You know the door slammed. 100 talented men there. I wish they'd let me in so I can see what's there behind the green door. I saw an eyeball peeping from a smoky cloud behind the green door. I tried to tell them Billie Holiday sent me, y'all let me in, but they laughed out loud behind the green door. I wish they'd let me in so I can see what's there behind the green door. You know they did the jumpty jump, yeah, yeah. Yes, they did that jumpty jump. Then they did the honky tonk. Yes, they did the jumpty jump. I wish they'd let me in so I can see what's there behind the green door. All right, fellas, take it away, y'all. saw an eyeball peeping from a smoky cloud behind the green door. I said, y'all let me in. Ray Charles sent me. Then they laughed out loud behind the green door. I wish they'd let me in so I can see what's there behind the green door. Lord, they did that jump to jump, yeah, yeah. You know they did that honky tonk, yeah, yeah. Yes, they did the jumpty jump, yeah. Then they did that honky tonk, yeah, yeah. I wish they'd let me in so I can see what's there behind the ball, 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 ball.
Barbara Morrison. Barbara Morrison. What a delight. Mark Massey on the piano. Mr. Rickey Woodard on the tenor sax. And back in circulation, Mr. Nolan Shaheed. We're here at the Thursday Night Jazz Salon. We're delighted to have a room full of enthusiastic, friendly, smiling folks all dressed up, looking terrific. We're going to take a quick break. It's about after. We'll take about a 15-minute break, come back about 8:30. And just for those, just so you know, because I know you like facts, you like to know what's really going on in the world, there's a tip jar up here. Nolan was trying to hide it, but it's there, and it's psychedelic, so that you can't miss it. So the thing to know is that the tips go to the band, and it helps pay for Thursday Night Jazz Salon. So contribute generously, and we'll see you soon. Thanks, everybody.